It is a Friday edition of Red Sox Now. It's presented by FanArch, and it's right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Mike Antonellis. I will be with the Worcester Red Sox this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Radio and TV broadcaster for them. Will Roman Anthony be around? That is always the million-dollar question. Make sure to follow me everywhere on social media at The Radio Mike. Find me on X, and my personal YouTube is right here on Mike Antonellis Media. You'll see me once in a while comment on all of your comments, which we ask you to do right now. If you could subscribe, comment, like, share. You know, I post this on X, on Facebook. If you could do a huge fave and share it. Got the morning coffee. We're ready to go. Friday edition, and I know everyone is pumped up. And how could you not? You know, I get this question a lot about the schedule. I do like the new schedule. I like that everybody plays everybody. And I think for this reason, this year, you got some bad teams that allows everyone to beat up on them, right? When you think about that National League West, what would that be like if the Dodgers got to play the Rockies even more, or the Padres, or any of the teams? Now the Red Sox get a chance to play them. So it compensates your division, which I'm okay with. I don't know. I don't know if playing so many times is good. I think less can be more, and it builds a lot of excitement. And the Red Sox and Yankees meet for the first time tonight in the Big Apple, and it should be a scene. Walker Buehler on the mound, Will Warren. The Yankees are incredible. They're 38-23. I think one thing that the Yankees have done better than the Red Sox is they're stuck with their GM. That's been my ebbs and flows solution on why the Red Sox have been so up and so down, is you keep changing management. You can't do that. And you could say what you want about Cashman, and you could say, well, they haven't won a ton of World Series. Well, but they have been in the conversation every year. And I think after some of the seasons you've seen, the last place finishes, the changing of the guards over and over. I'd rather be in the conversation with a chance to win the World Series every year. But a lot of you wouldn't. And then a lot of you complain on the back end. You take the World Series over being in last place. I would not. Not 4 times. I think that's what the Red Sox have been. I wouldn't compensate, I wouldn't give up all the World Series, but I'd give up one. Maybe I would not. No, there's no way. But the Yankees have been a lot more consistent with what they've done. They have 2 pitchers out, Cole and Heel. I talked about this yesterday, and they're still 15 games over 500. If the Red Sox had their top 2 starters out, they would probably have 20 wins. No exaggeration. They've got Crochet all year, and they're not above 500. And Buehler has been, up and down, but he's been off in terms of pitching performance and being active. But the Red Sox would not be able to survive losing 2 pitchers like the Yankees did. And that's where the Yankees are overall at a better place, because they can do that. They'll have Will Warren, who's 3-3. He's a youngster with a 5.19 ERA. And that will be fun. A 7:05 game. Monday we'll talk all about the series over the weekend. Here's the big thing for me. We want to talk about what do the Red Sox have to do better. It's a lot of the same thing that we see every game. You got to get back to basics. You got to get back to playing better. I don't know what the analytics, if there's a side to playing the game the right way. Apparently there's not. A lot of the analytics people don't believe in clutch hitting. They don't believe in that strikeouts are bad or bad. I mean, some of it's ludicrous. Because it's not working, right? I mean, this heavy influence of analytics has not made you a lot better. Maybe it's made some individuals better, but if you don't run the bases correctly and you continue to play some of the worst defense in baseball, which you're near the bottom of Major League Baseball. Not running the bases correctly, and again, the pitching, but the basics, the defense, and running those things have to get better, or it's not going to matter if Roman Anthony's up here or not. And that's why I'm a little surprised at Jeff Passan in saying that the Red Sox would have a lot more wins if Roman Anthony's here. And I don't know if he cannot be watching all the games, and I'm sure it's a hot take too. But that's really unfair to do to Roman Anthony, to put this on him and say that if he was here, he'd have more wins. Young players take so much time to develop, and we just are not getting that. Peter Crow-Armstrong went through a horrible stretch, just like Christian Campbell. He's one of the best players in the game right now. Duran. All right, so to expect a young guy to come up and just solve all your problems is crazy to me. And I don't know why. We have better knowledgeable fans in this. Yes, it could help your offense, but it's not going to matter if you do those other things wrong. You're still scoring a lot of runs right now. I mean, you almost lost that game Monday scoring, or Wednesday, scoring 9 runs. You could have lost that game. So you have to get back to basics. You have to. Buehler on the bump, huge, right? The Red Sox, their starting pitching has been a problem. That's another thing. It's been the defense, the running the bases, but the starting pitching for me is not been good at all, with the exception of Crochet and flashes of guys. But it's really been bad, and Buehler needs to step up. You need guys to step up this weekend. Buehler's one. That's why you brought him in. And you have Crochet on Saturday. That's going to be must-see TV. And then Sunday, it's got to be Sunday Night Baseball. It is. You've got Dobbins against Rodon. So, you feel pretty good about the Crochet. And it's baseball, right, again. But this is what you brought a guy like Walker Buehler in, is to solve these kind of games. This is huge. You need him to step up. You need him to be good. If the Red Sox are going to go anywhere, they got to have Walker Buehler. They have to. Bayo's not giving you much. You're in a tough spot with the starters. That, to me, it's still not talked about a lot for some reason. I don't know why. The proof is in the pudding. You've not pitched, you've not run the bases correctly, and you've made a ton of errors. And you're losing games. But Roman Anthony's the solution. I don't get it. All right? I know I'm beating this horse a lot, the drum, but it's just how I feel, and I know in my heart that to put this all on a kid is not fair. And I love Roman Anthony, but he could go up there, the Red Sox could score more runs, and they could still lose from still making those mistakes. I think it's at some point, the Red Sox DFA'd Blake Sable. They weren't able to work out a trade. No one claimed him. So he was outrighted to Worcester. So you don't have many 40-man options now. You only have Wong and Narvaez because Yasmani Grandal retired. So you have no 40-man catchers with the exception of the 2 you have in the big leagues. That has to change quickly. The Red Sox are going to have to do something to find – you got to have somebody, or they could add Sable, of course, back to the 40-man if they feel he's an option. But I think that's an area – and you're not going to – it's probably going to be taking a flyer, but I think the Sox at some point will go out and claim someone off waivers, a catcher, and maybe, how about a Cam Booser reunion? The White Sox we know aren't going anywhere. I love Cam Booser. He was a great story. He's part of that Netflix documentary. He's an older pitcher on a roster with the White Sox that, we know they're not going anywhere. How about that? Let's get Cam back here. That's going to do it for a Friday episode of Red Sox Now. Thank you for watching. It's presented by Fan Arch here on YouTube. We want you to share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on socials at The Radio Mike. Have a great weekend. Go Red Sox in the Big Apple against the Yankees.